So, respecting time, I'll start it on 3 p.m. sharp. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the bi-monthly Tibet Awareness Talk Series. So, Tibet Awareness Talk Series is primarily tailor-made for the Tibetan Policy Institute, the researcher from the Tibetan Policy Institute. It was primarily, made for the researcher to talk about their research, their articles, and thereby telling our visitor what exactly happening inside Tibet, what as a researcher we are doing from the Central Tibetan Administration. And this month we are very fortunate to have Mr. Wolfgang Grader from Germany. So may I briefly tell you about his biography. He is born in Vienna in 1960, and in 1994 he moved to Bamberg in Germany. And then he was primarily working there as a school headmaster, city council, and have also a diploma in religious studies. So because of these, I think around 2000, he acted as a chairman of the the Tibet Initiative Deutschland, and thereby he traveled so many around the Himalayan belt, and particularly in Tibet for 7 times. And in 2009, he was blacklisted from the Tibet. And if you talk about the Tibet Initiative Deutschland briefly, it was started in year 1989. When His Holiness Dalai Lama got Nobel Peace Prize. And on the 10th March of 1989, I think after 10th March, there are a lot of people, and Tibetan asked them for a support group, and thereby they formed the Tibet Initiative Deutschland. And right now, it has more than 2,000 active members and 50 regional chapters. So may I now ask Mr. Gardner to please start your presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Topten, for the friendly introduction of my person. Some years ago, we had an online talk with His Holiness, and His Holiness said, he had an English teacher, Heinrich Harrer, but his English was not so good. So my English, His Holiness said, therefore is not so good. I'm from Austria like Heinrich Harrer. Now you know my English now. It's not so good, but I try my best. Yes, you said Initiative Deutschland was founded in 1989. It was a real special year. It was not only the year of the Nobel Prize of His Holiness. It was a real there was uprising days in Tibet too, and in this year the Berlin Wall was fallen down. Oh, nice to meet you, then. Long time we have to see. Now I am more under pressure because he's a real specialist about Tibet issue. Yes, as our organization, you said we have around between 1,500 and 2,000 members, but we have 10,000 supporters. You give a little bit fund, or they're helping for to give flyers to people and so on. Now I would like here muss ich, Moment. So now here this is our board. We are 6 people. Maybe you know one person. I don't mean me. Maybe you want one person of the others. 6 people. On the left, Christoph Spitz. He was 20 years translator of His Holiness. He translated His Holiness every journey in Europe, mostly in Germany, and he's a member of board. Yes, and we must have minimum 1 Tibetan in our board membership. Now it's Pema Druyatsang. But the heart of our organization is our office in Berlin. This is our staff. Now CEO is Tenzin Zöchbauer. She is a real engaged woman. Maybe you know her very well. Her mother was engaged, Tenzin Zöchbauer, and now Tenzin now, and the other is our staff. David Missal is for public relations, social media works. Marek Felten for campaigns and actions. Lisa is working for fundraising, communication. Tenzin Kungasha is a volunteer, and Anja Oek is for our publication. Maybe afterwards you can see. Is our magazine 3 times every year. Yeah, you said it. We have around 50 regional groups and contact points in all over Germany, and so we can reach, also we hope we can reach nationwide people for the Tibetan issue. Here for some examples, Berlin and Leipzig and Bamberg, my hometown where I'm living now, is the right picture on the first side. And then we have Nuremberg, Darmstadt, Munich, and so on. Yeah, we do a lot for Tibet, for the Tibetan issue. And what I only can say is only some aspects I can tell today. If you would like to speak German, then we need maybe 2-3 hours. But only some aspects. Here you see the Tibetan community with our Tibetan members for the Berliner Brandenburger Tor. You know, this was is a special place in Berlin, a special political place in Berlin. So I would start with some examples what we are doing in Germany. First, the suppression of Tibetan identity, closure of compulsory boarding schools. You know the problem with the boarding schools. So many young people have to go, must go some 100 kilometers in other cities and have to go to Chinese school. And so you know the Mr. Loh, he was in Berlin, and the Tibetans of Germany has continuously addressed the system of Chinese compulsory boarding schools and criticized it through rallies, petition, and articles. All what we can do, we do. Since 2022, we have been emphasizing the big discredit for basic children's rights in this institution in discussion with politicians. We would like to speak with the politicians about this topic. And we had a small success in 2023. The German federal government publicly called for the closure of the compulsory boarding schools, a demand that is also supported by the UN Social Committee. It was a success, but not more. China's politics is not changed. Then there's a special campaign we had in the last years, Tibet Uncensored, Stop Chinese Propaganda in Germany. For instance, there's a book by Xi Jinping, a biography or something else, and there's a big book, a big bookstore named Thalia, and sold this book, sponsored by the Chinese government. And then we said, no, you could not do this. This is a propaganda book for Xi Jinping. Or another action we did, there are some special flyers in German newspapers. Here, like in the German newspaper Handelsblatt, the Chinese government now dictates us what image of China should be present in the world. And they are working, in this case now, in Germany's rule. And Tibet is not only disappearing from the map. If you see a map of Asia, a map of the world, there's only China on the map, not more Tibet. And from history books, the topic is also hardly present in everyday life and on a political level. And with the Tibet Uncensored, we expose China's hidden influence and give the topic the attention it still deserves after 70 years of Chinese occupation. And then we said, okay, this newspaper is in German, but it's a Chinese newspaper, is inside of in German newspaper, and we say this is all propaganda. This is a campaign, you do it the same. Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy has a special booklet about transnational repression. It's the same working in Germany too. Tibetans, you can read, Uyghurs, Hong Kongers and Chinese cannot live in Germany without fear. We have some examples like they got a telephone call, some Tibetan people, we know where you live. And then they know we couldn't speak. We have to be quiet, otherwise maybe the family in Tibet will get some problems. And this is a campaign we would like to speak with the German parliament. We had some meetings with them and said, look at this topic. It's very, very forceful for the Tibetans. Our longest campaign we have is to show the flag, to show the Tibetan flag. This year our slogan was Tibet, we are with you. That means many cities in Germany should haste the Tibetan flag. And in this year, I think more than 450 cities haste the Tibetan flag. And this is official. It's not a flag of a member of our organization to haste the flag in the garden in Munich. No, the mayor have to write us, yes, we haste the Tibetan flags, and 450 cities are doing this. This is real, all official. And here you see some pictures from some cities. And this is if this campaign is very forceful, because if you speak with politicians and with other officials, we can say nearly 500 cities are in our background, and they supported us. They supported the Tibetan issue, and that is easier to come in communication with the politicians. Last year we had a very special event. You know this, Palak, from Tibet Theater. We organized this tour. We helped that the tour can come through India and through Germany and Switzerland. And it started in Germany in Recklinghausen. Recklinghausen is a festival town, a famous festival town in Germany. And yes, this the Frankfurter Allgemeine wrote, this was a expressive, powerful and highly emotional theater play. I saw it many times in Germany. I was really impressed, and so many people were really impressed too. And the tour of Palak included 19 performances on Germany stage, from Recklinghausen, Potsdam, Berlin, Chemnitz, Plauen, Göttingen, Baden, Bad and Hamburg. And each performance was well attended. And after the performances, panel discussions took place where the audience could ask questions about the current situation in Tibet. And the human rights activist, you know him, Golok Chikme, accompanied the tour and talked about his own torture, which he had to experience on the central prop of the play, the tiger chair you can see on the picture. Another campaigns we have in the last year was the campaign Free Me, Freedom for Political Prisoners. We did it for many political prisoners. Here only some examples. And for me personally special is Wangdu, because I met him 2007 in Lhasa. And if I've heard, he was arrested for his for his life, his whole life. I was very sad and worked on this case very, very much. I met his son in Dehradun some years ago, but after COVID, we have no contact more. But I wish that this case must be more highlighted, Wang Du. And you know, all prisoners in Tibet, I must not explain you. A new campaign is the Blue Tibet campaign. We had some years we had the campaign Green Tibet campaign. There was the topic of the nomadic problems and now we have the topic to the water problem in Tibet. You know, the Blue Tibet campaign continues our Green Tibet campaign and wants to make a contribution to raising awareness about the plight of the third pole. We had in December last year a conference, Tibet, China and the Water of Asia, and this conference took place in the rooms of the Taipei representation in Berlin. We work close together with the Taiwanese people. And around 60 people came together that evening at our invitation, at the invitation of the Tibet Initiative Germany, to listen to 4 expert presentations on the threatening water situation in Tibet and beyond. And another example, you know it, the situation in Derge. I think you have seen the small film with some 100 Tibetans, and then the Tibet Initiative for Germany was calling for the immediately release of the Tibetans, and we wanted a statement from our Foreign Minister Baerbock on the incident, but no statement followed. Now, a last example, German-Chinese government consultation. Last year in Berlin, the German-Chinese government consultation took place in Berlin. And even before the meeting starts, we demanded in a letter from Federal Chancellor Olaf Scholz to make a clear statement on the human rights situation in Tibet and China. But he didn't do it. And so on the day of the government consultations, we demonstrated in front of the Chancellery as an alliance of people from Tibet, East Turkestan, Hong Kong, China, Germany to protest against economic relation with China and the well-known mantra, carry on like this. We have really worked close with other organizations, with Uyghur, Taiwanese, Hong Kong, and this gives us and Tibet much more power. We have to work together. And the demonstrators were accompanied by members of workers of the Chinese embassy, and they photographed all the demonstrators. And we say this is a type of a transnational repression. They make always pictures. And if we have a demonstration in front of the Chinese embassy, we always see a camera filming all the people they are staying in front of the embassy. And so I can understand that some Tibetans have a mask or something on, or do not go to that demonstration, yes? So at least we are not an organization alone. We work together with many Tibetan organizations, for instance here, international cooperation in the 9th International Conference of Tibet Support Groups. Have you some been there in Brussels? It was a real good conference, you know, every 3-4 years we have such this conference, but we work not international, we are working on the EU level, we're working with other organizations by the UN too. Yeah, and to the end, we have in the last 35 years, we had many big or huge events. One of the hugest events was 2008 in Berlin. Germany for Tibet, Tibet for the world. And His Holiness held a speech in front of the Brandenburger Tor for more than 20,000 people. It was the public, it was the only one public speech with so many people in front of His Holiness. And we invited in to our 10th anniversary. We had it in Bonn, sometimes in Berlin, and the last invitation we had was 2018 in Darmstadt. It was the last station in Europe. Since then he never was in Europe, and it was under the topic "Non-Violence is the Way" with some Nobel laureates. Maybe on the south, down you can see Lech Walesa. He was on this conference too, and more than 1,000 people joined this conference, and this was a really strong conference. And so I come to the last picture. Now we have our 35th anniversary. In 10 days we have a big Tibet festival in Berlin. I think the artists you know all. Yes, we try to work hard and strong for the Tibetan issue. It makes really fun. We like to work with the Tibetans, but sometimes it's not easy. You know, the political situation in the world is very complicated, and so many conflicts are more in the topic than Tibet. In Europe, Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, climate problems. So that the theme Tibet now it's going more back in the political mind, and so we must need more ideas to bring Tibet more in the public. Bad news are good news. I hope we have no bad news in Tibet, but bad news is for the public more popular. So we have to work on another way. Thank you that I was here. Then I can you something about our organization.